And if it's in the game, it's in the game.
Hold on tight. We're in for an exciting one.
And it comes your way next on Madden Football.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL has us in downtown New Orleans at the Caesars Superdome. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and Charles, kickoff moments away. Quickly, what are you watching in this one?
The offensive line for both teams, because both teams have a terrific pass rush. They've got to keep their passers upright. If they have a chance to do that, they can both thrive on offense and move the ball downfield.
Glad you're with us. It's Blake Grupe to get this one started, and off we go here in New Orleans. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. So here comes the Raider offense now onto the field. And they're led out by their mobile quarterback out of West Virginia. It's Geno Smith.
I still remember back in 2013 when he was drafted out of West Virginia. He was coming off of back-to-back 4,000-yard seasons for the Mountaineers. Hadn't seen as much game time in recent years, but at one point, a capable starter in the NFL.
And he'll get this up just shy of the 30.
Look, all any running back wants is a little bit of room, a little bit of space in order to maneuver. But he also understands how difficult it is for his offensive line up front. So if they give him any space, he realizes his job to make more out of it than what they give him. Picks up 3 on that carry.
They'll fake it. Now Smith. That's going to be caught. It's Jacoby Myers. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. The catch and run pays off for 29 yards.
They hit that crossing route really well. Excellent timing, puts it right on him, and he keeps running.
Yeah, turned it upfield for good yardage. So in Saints territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. Now a play fake, and it's Smith. This is Alexander Madison out of the backfield with it. Call it a gain of a yard, and it's 2nd down. He felt the pressure coming there. That was a good job of just making something out of nothing, so to speak.
Yeah, took the hit and still made the play. You know, when we talk about runners, all right, and on running plays, runs after contact, we call that getting dirty yards, tough, gritty ones. To me, that's like the version of a dirty pass. He knows he's going to get smacked, yet still delivers the football and picks up good yardage.
And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. So they'll wind up losing 5 yards on the play. And it's going to be 3rd down and a ways to go here. 3rd and 14.
When you lose that kind of yardage on a pass play, you often expect it to be a sack. But that wasn't the case there. They completed the pass. Probably would have been better off just dropping the football and making an incomplete.
And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. A 3rd and long, you knew that he was going to throw it. He just couldn't find anybody to throw it to.
Yeah, and it shouldn't have been a surprise, but that was perfect execution of their nickel defense. That 5th defensive back, the extra defender, he really tightened up things downfield in coverage, and they were able to get to him in the pocket.
So on 4th down, here's A.J. Cole to punt for the Raiders. Deep for New Orleans is Rashid Shaheed. And this punt sails over the sideline. And the spot, it looks to be right at the 25-yard line. And here come the Saints for their opening drive. They'll be led out by their rookie quarterback.
We're seeing it more and more in this league, how teams love to have athletes back there taking the snaps, guys who can throw it and move around and get yardage with their legs if needed. He's one of the best examples that we see out there right now. He can throw for hundreds of yards one week and then run for 100+ the next. He adds an extra dimension that really confounds defenses when he puts it all together.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
Well, from an offense's perspective, that sure was pretty because the corner route is extremely difficult to defend from my perspective.
What we just saw there, is that sort of the evolution of the tight end position?
Yeah, I think it is because more and more, tight ends are being treated like wide receivers. These are some agile players who can make a play in any spot on the field.
They'll bring the tight end in motion right. Now a play fake here on first down. And the Raiders have got him. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. Well, on that one, they go with a play fake, CD, but I don't think anybody really was fooled. All eyes were fixated on the quarterback, and they got him to the ground.
And to run this play successfully, you've got to make sure that everyone is doing their part. You actually have to sell this play. You've got to sell the run action. Otherwise, why do you stop at the running back? You just run straight for the quarterback and put him on the ground.
The tight end in motion right. Off play action. Mims completing it to the right side. Johnson. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle comes at the Raiders' 31-yard line. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
This is going to be a corner route to their tight end, and I'll tell you what, it's man coverage, so that makes it hard for a linebacker to stay with him. And he's able to make the catch on the right side of the field and pick up the first down.
They'll run it for the first time with Alvin Kamara. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down. They'll come up 2nd and 7. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. So that'll be no better than an incompletion. 3rd and 7 now. Well, he caught it right at the line of scrimmage, and before he could even think about advancing it forward, he got hit.
Great tackling, because that's what you're taught. Don't give up yards after the catch, and most offenses make a living off of yards after catch. Those hidden yards that may not go into the score sheet, but they count big for moving the ball and stretching the field. Really nice open field tackle.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Over the middle and complete to Shaheed. And he is going to have a Saints first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
They've been moving the ball well, but this drive was in danger of stalling out. Fortunately, this is a nice throw here, and they're able to pick up a new set of downs.
Back to throw now on 1st down. And they're going to get him. He's sacked back around the 28. Malcolm Kuntz just would not be denied. That's a loss of 7. Charles, a little bit of feast or famine on this drive. They moved the ball okay, but they've been sacked twice now.
And they've got to figure out how to plug that leak a little bit, right? Keep them away from the quarterback, because when he's not being hit, as you mentioned, they're moving the ball well.
Clock rolling as we hit the midway point of this first quarter. Back to throw. Mims. That's complete to his running back, Kamara. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down. Well, safe to say the passing game has found a rhythm. He's now 4 of 4, but might need to be 5 of 5 to keep this drive going here as they face a 3rd down.
And maybe perhaps you show a running play, right? Maybe a little play action here to go ahead and let him throw the ball downfield. I wouldn't get away from him flinging it, because 4 for 4 already, I think he's got a good chance of picking this one up here on 3rd down.
So the completion good for 6 yards, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game, but it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go and make the tackle right away.
And his kick is right there. It's good, and the Saints are going to take a 3-0 lead. So a pretty good opening drive. That'll make the home fans somewhat happy. They wanted 6, but they got 3 in the early lead.
And they should be happy. The guys look good getting down the field. That's got to give them a little bit of hope that good things are in store here today for them.
And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Second drive of the game coming up for this Las Vegas offense. Defense got the better of them last series, forcing a punt. See if they make a few changes in the game plan here and try to get points out of this drive. 1st and 10. They'll start on the ground with Madison. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Well, they held him to a short gain on that one, and it almost felt like on that first run, they were trying to just throw the jab at him. So how do you stop a jab? Get closer and smother it, just as they did on that last play.
From the 29, here's 2nd down and 8. Throwing now is Geno. That one complete to Trey Tucker. And that's good for a gain of 6. And now 1 yard to go on 3rd down. They'll try to get it on the ground with Madison. He is going nowhere as he is enveloped behind the line. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave him with a 4th down. Yes, it's the first half, but we'll see if that stuff there on 3rd and 1 comes back to haunt him.
I hope you don't mind, but it's not going to stop me from putting a check mark next to this play. Let's look back as this game progresses and see if this is one of the key plays in the game, even though it occurred early.
On 4th down, A.J. Cole comes on to punt. "47 yards on the punt that time, just 1 yard on the return. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10. Throwing to start the drive. Mims. There's a short one caught by Johnson. And a nice job to break free of 1 tackle, but it slowed his momentum somewhat, and he's taken down right after. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. Kamara up the middle. And he'll be taken down right around the 27. After a gain of 5, they'll wind up being about a length of the football short here on 3rd down. They stay on the ground. This time it's Williams. And this will wind up a Saints 1st down as the tackle made here at the 36.
Offensive linemen are famous for doing their job no matter who's carrying the ball. But when they have the confidence that the person carrying it can break off big-time runs, it makes them block just a little bit harder.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. They'll pound it up the middle with Kamara. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good 1st down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on 1st down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
The clock running here, under a minute to go now in the 1st quarter of a 3-0 game. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. Olave over the middle. It'll be a gain of 5, and that'll leave them with a 3rd and 2. Here's Kamara trying to run for it. And he's got the 1st down yardage as he brings this up to the 47. Just a gain of a couple, but good enough to keep the drive rolling. "3-0 after 1 on EA Sports." Ready for the second quarter from New Orleans. It's the Saints in possession. A couple of first downs on the drive already, as they'll go from the 47 now on first down. They'll bring a receiver in motion left. Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. He'll find Shaheed out to the right. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and it's second down. Looking to throw. Mims. He's going to look downfield for Henry. And he's got it inside the 10. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. A big play there. 48 yards. And the Saints had 6 to their lead. Well, Charles, kind of the future of this franchise on display right there. You had a rookie throwing it, a rookie catching it, and taking it into the end zone.
Could you imagine if we were in the owner's box right now and we could look at the front office and see the grins on their faces, to see the present making plays and knowing what the future will bring with these youngsters going out and making big-time moments happen for this team.
A point after, good by Groupie. And the lead grows to 10-0. So that drive goes 8 plays, and it ends with a touchdown for New Orleans. After the touchdown, here's Groupie to kick this one away. And he takes this near the 25, just a little past there, call it the 26. The Raiders now set to get the football back. Nothing for them yet from an offensive standpoint, down 10-0 as they come up 1st and 10. They'll fake the handoff. Now Smith. He gets this to Devontae Adams. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. An ideal beginning of the drive there as they'll get 20 and a first down.
That's a pretty throw right there. That ball's in the air a long time, but it's right on the money on the right sideline. A really good route. Moving the defenders towards the middle of the field before breaking to the sideline. What a completion there. Big-time arm strength. Very nice route.
Tucker hauls it in over the middle. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. They've got another first down. The Raider passing game clicking on all cylinders right now.
And this offense has been a little slow to get going, but some signs of life here in this second quarter. They're moving it pretty good, and that helps the cause as well. Good yardage and another first down.
Back to throw, Smith. Caught by Mayer. And he's going to get this inside the 30. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down. Seems as if the passing attack's starting to heat up a little bit here in the second quarter.
You can sense and you can see the momentum because now they're reading their patterns downfield, they're understanding the coverages, and they're finding the open holes in the defense.
Again, Smith. Short throw caught by Bowers. And he'll be out of bounds as he gets this down to about the 21 or 22. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and it'll be second down. So a decent gain there, but not their 4th consecutive first down like they had on the first 3 plays.
You sound almost disappointed there. You want to fire the offensive coordinator on that one or what?
They'd gotten into a rhythm. I thought they were just going to keep going.
Well, almost a win for the defense, but if that's your win, you're not doing very well right now.
Looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go. Going to run with Madison again. Yeah, this is only going to be a gain of 2. He needed 3. It's 4th and 1.
So many things go into making a good play on defense. In this situation, just not being blown out of the way was a big start, and then a nice tackle to finish things off.
The field goal unit's going to stay put on the sideline. They're going to go on 4th down here. They're going for it. Here's Madison. And I'm not sure he got there. Did they stop him? They did. He needed a yard. He didn't get anything. And the Saints will have the football back.
Partner, when you see a running play stop short like that, you just know that the defensive front, they won the battle of leverage and created the push back into the opposing backfield.
And for the offensive coordinator, whether you had 1 yard to go or 20 yards to go on 4th down, now you're probably saying, oh, maybe I should have passed it, right?
Yeah, hindsight is always 20/20.
Their quarterback in this offense heading back out to the field. He's been perfect through the air, 9 of 9 so far, including that touchdown on the last drive. As his guys start again, 1st and 10. Throwing to start the drive. Mims eluding the pressure right. That one a broken play, but it ends up being a good play. The scramble goes for 20. From up near the 40 now after the big play to start. Here's another 1st and 10. Back to throw. Mims. And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up, not that time. So line of scrimmage still the 39 on 2nd and 10. Looking to throw. Mims. He completes it to Henry. That'll leave him with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there. Off the bootleg. Mims. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he's going to have another 1st down as the tackle comes at the Raiders' 35. A nice pickup of 17 yards.
Well, things are definitely going right for them here in the 1st half. Pick it down, any down, even 3rd down, no problem. They get a connection there and pick up a fresh set of downs, continuing to move the ball.
So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory at the 35-yard line. They'll look to throw again. Oh, he was hit as he threw it there, and that one winds up incomplete. But following the play here, now we've got an injury. Well, now they're going to come out and take a look at this injury, and we'll be back in a moment. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. They'll motion the tight end across the formation. Here's Johnson with a reception. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. 75 yards receiving for him now. It's a 1st down.
Nice play call, a little bit of play action right there. If you can get those linebackers to freeze for just a split second, that's usually all the room you need in order to get it to your tight end.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Under pressure, and he'll go down. Back at the 26-yard line. Tyree Wilson using that athletic ability to make the play. Remember, they had the nice gain on the previous play, but they just gave a lot of it back right there on that sack.
Yeah, they get the sack, get back some real estate. Felt like the type of play that can spark a defense and swing some momentum. Almost felt like a take that type of a play, didn't it, partner?
sacks a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Back to throw. Mims gets this complete to Shaheed. They'll give him 4 yards there, and that'll force upon him a 3rd and 14. Going to need a crafty play call here. 14 yards is what they need to try to convert this thing. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Finding Johnson on the out route. That's complete. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. So the completion good for just 3. And that's going to make it 4th down.
Well, the coverage was tight that time. They allowed the pass underneath to him, but they rallied to him pretty fast, too. Converged on him and got him down. That'll bring up 4th down.
And his kick here is good. And that will extend their lead even further. So 3 points there, and they continue to build this first half lead.
Yeah, every little bit helps. And the more that you can put together drives and start controlling the tempo, controlling possession, finishing with points, the better off you're going to be.
So after the field goal, back out is Groupie to send this one away. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. Now the Raiders offense, they get set to head back on the field. They've got some stuff to build on from that last drive because they moved the football, CD, and then they tried to go for it on 4th down, didn't convert, probably left a bitter taste in their mouths.
I would say so, and I think that they go out in this series determined for that not to happen again. In fact, they don't even want to get to a 4th down opportunity. They just want to make sure they get it done within the parameters that they've set for themselves. Run their offense, get it into the end zone. Yeah, I think a little bit of determination and a dash of anger. When you get a big tight end like this, sometimes it takes more than one man to bring him down. Oftentimes, your best bet, just jump on and hold on and wait for your teammates to arrive to help get him on the ground.
Here's Madison running on 1st down. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. To throw is Smith. That's caught by Myers. And this is going to be another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Saints' 27-yard line. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. They'll go Madison up the middle, down at the 25. Second down and 8. Here's Smith. Flush to his right. And he will slide to a stop. He does have the 1st down. And the play goes for 19 yards. Gives him a new set of downs. Two minutes remaining in this first half of football. 1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Geno now to throw. Under pressure, down he goes. Sacked at the 10. No surprise there. Chase Young wrecks that play with a sack.
Well, that's a big defensive stop there, and it takes away a lot of momentum from the offense. Coming off that big completion the prior snap. Give big credit to the defense for bouncing back.
Moved back to the 10. They'll try on 2nd and goal here. Now Smith. This goes out wide from Madison. And down inside the 10 here before he's out of bounds right around the 7. Only 3 yards there on the completion. That'll lead to a 3rd and goal. Smith. And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. Geno Smith taking it in from 7 yards away. And the Raiders have got it back to within a score.
Hey, you're down on the scoreboard, but now your offense is in close, and this is where, as a quarterback, you say, I've got to make a play here. Doesn't matter whether it's a pinpoint throw or a scramble like this one. He takes matters into his own hands and delivers a touchdown run.
Now for the extra point, Daniel Carlson. And that'll make it 13-7. So that drive takes him down the field in 8 plays. And in the end, it's capped off by a 7-yard run. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. And now the Saints get set to trot out there. There was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. On first down, he'll drop to throw. And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number 1. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Looking to throw. Mims. And his pass incomplete.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they didn't completions on first and second down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. But if you don't pick up the first down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Back to throw again. He's going to look downfield for Henry. It's caught at the 10. Touchdown, New Orleans. A great effort there with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Saints will extend their lead in the final minute of the half. Well, partner, I mean, if anybody was still questioning whether or not he had an NFL caliber arm, I think you can toss that right out the window. That was a heck of a throw right there.
I would agree totally. Question it no more. This rookie, big-time throw right there. Great poise, stepped up, trusted he could lay it in there perfectly, and he knew that his guy was going to make the catch on the other end. Nice collaboration.
Groupie able to add the PAT. And the lead now stands at 13. Just a 4-play drive that time. And it all culminates in a Saints touchdown. After the touchdown, here's Grupe to kick this one away. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. The Raider offense going to head out now late in this first half. Well, not much time remains here in this first half. We'll see if they can get something out of this drive, at least a field goal. They could certainly use it down by 2 scores. Now it's Smith. They'll get this underneath to Madison. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go before halftime. From the gun, here's Smith. Over the middle, he's got Myers. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. Second down and 6 now. Now Smith. It's Myers again with another catch. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. An excellent pickup of 34 yards. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. It'll be from the right hash, and it'll be a 36-yarder. The kick by Carlson is good, and that cuts into the deficit. It's now 20-10. Well, not the best first half facing this deficit, but at least they did put 3 on the board before half.
Yeah, it's a little bit like that stormy, cloudy day, and the sun peeks through just for a second. They saw the sun there. They're hoping to see a little bit more of it in the second half.
So still time for the kickoff here. 1 second to go in the half as this one is away. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The final second ticks by, and that's going to do it for the first half of play. So it's halftime here in New Orleans with the Saints out in front. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach.
We were certainly treated to an entertaining first half. Both these teams with some high points and maybe a couple of low points as well. So it's going to be a question of who can be the most disciplined team going forward.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Set now to go for the third quarter. The Saints have the lead and set to receive the kick. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. The Saints offense and their quarterback headed out for this next possession. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. And they've got the lead. CD, what do you think the message was at halftime?
I don't think the message was too drastic, I think, at the half, or that they need to change things too much. I do think the offensive line could play a little bit better. I think they'll try and help him out more. They'll probably keep a tight end in a few more times and maybe add a running back to the formation to pick up those pass rushers because they probably allowed a few too many sacks for comfort in the first half. Well, part of why that play works is because the defense has to freeze because they don't know whether he's going to hand it off or keep it himself. And this time, how about that sleight of hand there? Gives it to his wideout, and that indecision defensively, boy, it hurt him in a big way.
Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. And they'll get this just to the 47. 1-yard gain.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
Ball on the 47-yard line. Here's 2nd and 9. Back to throw. Mims. He's got a man. It's his fullback. The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And it brings up 3rd and 5 now.
You don't see too many pass-catching fullbacks nowadays, partner. In fact, you don't see too many fullbacks, period.
Good news, though. He does have decent hands, and we saw it right there on display. The Raiders call on a nickel set here for 3rd down. They'll send a receiver in motion to the left. Out of the gun now on 3rd down. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle comes at the Raiders' 32-yard line. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the third quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards, and that'll leave them with a second and just a few inches left. Again, he'll drop to throw. Johnson with a completion over the middle. That'll put him at 95 receiving yards now as he's got a first down.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play, and that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
And they'll fake the jet sweep there and instead hand it Kamara. And let me tell you, that wasn't as easy as it looked. Dancing away and moving forward for 6 yards.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. Operating from the gun, Mims. Over the middle and complete to Shaheed. And the Saints are going to be set up with a 1st and goal on a pass play that moves them all the way down to the 1.
It's all pretty simple sometimes, isn't it? Go where the defenders are not, and he does exactly that. Makes a nice catch to move the chains. Defense, got to find a better way of accounting for the shorter routes that are being run against them.
Looking to throw. Mims. On the check down, he finds Kamara. And this one will wind up with him losing yardage back to the 4-yard line. It'll go as a loss on the play. Not what you need down here. It's going to be 2nd and goal. Well, they try to swing it out left into the flat, complete, but really nice open field tackling.
And they played that one like a great boxer. They were on their toes on that one. They weren't back on their heels reacting to the play. No, they saw it, came right for it, and made a...
And they're going to get him. They bring him down to the sack back at the 16-yard line. The linebacker, Robert Spillane, making a big play.
The lessons will continue, but this rookie, he's got to learn how to read situations just a little bit better. That far behind the line, he's got to find a way to get rid of the football and not take the sack, whether it's with his legs or just throwing it away.
Back at the 16 now after the sack. Here's 3rd and goal. Operating from the gun, Mims. And he's got his man in stride, complete. Give him 13 yards on the connection, but not enough. 4th down.
Nice job understanding the situation. 3rd and long, kept the play in front of them and made the tackle. They gave up a good chunk of yardage, but it does force a 4th down.
And no hesitation about this decision here. Confidently, they're going to go for this. 4th and goal from the 3. Back to throw. Mims. And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown. Chris Olave from 3 yards out. And the Saints take the opening kickoff of the 3rd quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead.
And remember, partner, that's a rookie quarterback back there. Apparently, he's getting the hang of this NFL thing pretty quickly.
Had 3 touchdown passes. You're right, he looks comfortable. What are they doing? Anything in particular?
Well, they keep talking about making sure they're giving him plays that fit his talents and also maybe shrinking the playbook a little bit. They did tell us that. Bottom line, he's really good.
The point after, good by Groupie. And that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. After the touchdown, here's Groupie to kick this one away. So here comes the Raiders offense getting ready for their first possession of the 2nd half. They'll fake the handoff. Now Smith. And that one too wide and incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating a defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
Smith, an incomplete pass on 1st down. Now it's 2nd and 10. Throwing now is Geno. And Smith able to move the chains before sliding down. Able to make something out of nothing there. 17 yards and a 1st down. On the handoff, it's Madison. He'll work his way up the middle for a gain of about 4. 2nd down. That ground game contained again there, Charles, and that's really a big reason that they're trailing right now.
They give a lot of credit to that defensive front. That's exactly what they worked for all week, to try and take away the run game, make them one-dimensional. In the battle of game plans, theirs has been superior.
From the 50, it's Smith. That's complete into the hands of Myers. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. That, I believe, will put him over 100 yards receiving for the game. Yes, it will. And he's got a 1st down to boot.
Well, we talk all the time about playing situational football, and right now I think the scoreboard is dictating what they need to do. Where they are in this game, they've got to push the ball downfield, take their shots, try and get big chunks of yardage in a short amount of time. That was a nice play there.
Short throw caught by Bowers. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. 11 more yards that go around, a 1st down as well.
And you start to think, if it's going to happen for these guys, it's got to start with this drive. Down 3 scores, they need to start making some inroads. And that'll help the cause there as they pick up good yardage and a 1st down.
Now a give to Madison. And he'll be taken down at the 20 after a gain of just 1. Another modest gain there on that one, and I think, Charles, you can probably pin part of the deficit on a failure on their part to really get this ground game established.
Yeah, and they've really struggled to be multidimensional in this one, haven't they, partner, because they have to be extremely one-dimensional now if they hope to get back into this game. They have to do it by throwing the football and hope to have success.
And Madison hit, and the ball pops free. Could have been a costly mistake, but as it turns out, they keep possession.
You can't give away these types of opportunities in the red zone. And I'm sure that was flashing through his brain as the ball escaped his hands. Fortunately for him, able to get picked up by his team, fumble recovered. They still have an opportunity deep in the red zone.
From the gun on third down, Smith. That is caught and stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. It'll be a gain of 16 for number 16.
With the score where it is, this was probably going to be 4-down territory if they didn't convert there. But what a nice job of working his way open, making sure he secured the catch, and setting up first and goal.
First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Now Geno. And this is caught. Touchdown, Raiders. Alexander Mattison from 3 yards out. And the Raiders are able to cut into that deficit. So a very important first drive of the third quarter, Charles, and safe to say, a much-needed touchdown.
Which leads to the question, where was this in the first half? Because if they'd had a few more drives like that, they wouldn't be in this situation. But that is the kind of drive that sends a message to the other side. We're going to be here, and we're going to battle you to the end.
Carlson on for the PAT. And the lead is trimmed down to 10. That time, a 9-play drive. And it winds up in 6 points for the Raiders. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. The Saints offense and their quarterback ready to go once more. And he's been a nightmare to scheme against throughout this one. This defense has been totally taken apart, and that is borne out in his numbers. He's been terrific all game long. They'll bring one of the tight ends in motion left. A throw out wide, going to be incomplete.
I would describe the way that he's played today as mature. He's already moved on mentally from that incompletion, and he's more than ready to throw his next pass downfield.
Glad to be in the great city of New Orleans, rolling along here in the third quarter, 2nd and 10. Operating from the gun, Mims. That's complete to his running back, Kamara. And shutting him off, now open field. He's still on his feet. And finally taken down at the 15. A big play there on the catch and run. 56 yards.
Boy, this has just been an offensive clinic. It's seemingly been one big play after another, and add this one on to the list. When you can bite off more than half the field on one play, things are definitely working in your favor.
A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. They'll send the big tight end in motion right. Kamara try the right side. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. Different story this time around. We had that huge gain followed by a sizable loss here.
Hey, we often talk about defensive ends setting the edge, sometimes even the outside linebackers, but how about here? This is a cornerback essentially setting the edge and finishing off that play for a loss.
Second and 13. And the catch made by Johnson. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. These two have hooked up 9 times now this afternoon as they pick up the first.
I like how they work the tight end on a nice little under route there. And if you're going to give him that much space, he's not even going to catch the football. He's going to run away from you a little bit, and that's exactly what he just did there, picking up extra yardage.
Kamara diving for the end zone, and he'll get there. Touchdown.
I know the play ends up in the end zone with one person carrying the ball, but how about that big mass of humanity that guided him to that spot?
Yeah, they got there, but I love the dive. Always a fan of the dive. Here's Groupie for the PAT. And that'll make this a 3-score game as the lead moves to 17. Uh-oh, flag comes out here. This is going to be roughing the kicker.
When you're going back there on the kick block, you've got to go to the right point. That didn't happen. Ran into the kicker. The penalty flag had to come out.
After the roughing penalty on the PAT, they'll kick off from 15 yards further upfield. And not willing to risk a return, this ball's going to come out to the 30-yard line. They'll fake it. Now Smith. And he's going to lose yardage here, as they will switch ends as time has run out on this third quarter of play. We have played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back now here live in New Orleans. It's Raider football here, but they're on the short side of the scoreboard right now as we begin the 4th. Here's Smith. Short throw caught by Bowers. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 14 yards is the pickup there at a Raider first.
And it's a real luxury when you have a guy who can turn a short throw into a solid gain at any moment. Once he caught that ball, he ID'd where the open grass was and got there in a hurry to pick up a new set of downs for his offense.
Smith. That's to Bowers once again. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days. But you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
That one tipped, and it's incomplete. But good hands there defensively. That's second down. To give you an idea of how accurate he's been throwing the football, we're in the second half. That's just his second incompletion.
Well, if he's that locked in, that means everyone's locked in, because to me it's like throwing a no-hitter in baseball. The pitcher may get the credit, but a lot of people making plays behind him in the field.
Over the middle, hooks up with the tight end Bowers. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
And there wasn't much room for the big tight end to do much after the catch. But at least he was able to pick up a solid gain to help his offense continue to move in the right direction.
The Raiders on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Play action. It's Smith. He's got his running back out of the backfield. And he'll be out of bounds just inside the 25-yard line. It's a gain of 4, and it gets him the first.
I'm not sure that was necessarily a safety valve or a check down throw on 3rd down. Sometimes just try and find the open guy and get him the ball. He did exactly that and found a way to pick up a first down.
And they'll send the slot in motion left. Throwing again is Smith. And incomplete, a drop there in the middle 3rd of the field. That'll bring up 2nd down. Maybe just a lack of concentration there as he couldn't haul it in.
And when you're going across the middle like that, you know, he's running that drag route, you are conscious of all the bodies and the traffic in there. But let's face it, if you're going there, you might as well come down with the football and absorb whatever else happens after that.
Now a play fake, and it's Smith. And that almost their first INT of the ball game. Had his sights on it, but he couldn't seal the deal.
And I think he was a little surprised to see the ball sitting out there like that. That's a ball he had a chance to come away with, but it winds up an incomplete pass.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. Back to throw, Smith. That one out wide and intercepted. Picked off by Marshawn Lattimore. And they will finally stop him as he's down to the 40-yard line. Another solid game-changing play for this defense for the interception. At this point, though, I don't know that it's game-changing. I mean, they've got this one in firm control.
And you always hear about, you know, those stories about someone left their game plan behind and maybe you benefit from it. I'm not going to say that that happened, but they certainly have appeared on defense to be a step ahead this entire game. Guys are always in the right spot in order to make a play.
The offense has had its moments, too. A 10th carry for Kamara. And a pretty good run there as he gets 7 down to the 33. Here's a 2nd and 3 now from the 33. Looking to throw. Mims. And his throw is incomplete.
Certainly looked like maybe his 3rd or his 4th read on his progression. Just trying to find his outlet man that time. Ends up leading him just a bit too much.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. Back to throw. Mims, he's got his target. That's complete. And he is going to have a Saints first down. They needed 3. He doubled that. He got 6.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete.
He didn't just deny a big throw there. He broke that one up in the red zone. An excellent play, one that may help save points on the board when this drive is over.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Back to throw again. They'll get this out to Kamara. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5. They'll look to throw again. There's a short one to the tight end, Johnson. They'll wind up getting just a yard out of it, and it'll be 4th down.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
And this one is right through, and that will extend their lead even further. So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense, the firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. The Raiders offense now making their way back out onto the field. But not an ideal way to end their previous drive. They threw the interception, Charles, after they had built up some momentum. They were moving the football, but something to at least build on for this offense as they run back out here.
Yeah, you're right about that. Up until that last play, everything was working pretty well for this offense, gaining chunks of yardage, getting first downs, really making a push for the end zone, and looked like they had a nice rhythm going. Now you got to have a short memory here. Don't focus on the interception. Focus on what came before it and get back to it.
2nd and 5. Now Smith. Open man down the field. It's Bowers. Look at the big fella go. And he will score. Touchdown, Las Vegas. Brock Bowers, 69 yards. And the Raiders have got it back to a 2-score game here in the fourth. When they drew that up, I don't think they envisioned it ending in a house call, but he got it and took it all the way home.
Really impressive run after the catch, wasn't it? That was really special by him. But let's face it, in today's NFL, those tight ends are often former wide receivers or maybe even sometimes bigger running backs. They just put them in a position to get a great matchup and make plays like that.
Pretty clean and simple there. Just 2 plays. The long pass resulting in the touchdown on play number 2. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. This offense headed back out, captained, of course, by their quarterback. And this defense might be about ready to wave the white flag. Nothing they have tried to throw at him has been that successful. He just processes things so quickly and makes a right read seemingly every time. And that'll be incomplete. From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10. A give. This is Kamara. And able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
The offense on 3rd down, well, they've converted 7 times and could use another right now. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. They'll try and run for it. Here's Williams. And he's going to be stopped short of a first down as they'll get to him at about the 33. Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a 4th down.
They tried their best to pick up that 3rd and 1, but their surge wasn't enough to counteract what came back at them from the defensive side, was it?
Offensive line, especially in the middle, looked like they were on skates a little bit when that one started.
So now we bring up 4th and inches. This will be a critical call.
Here comes the Saints punter now, as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. 39 yards on the punt, give him just 1 yard on the return. And the Raiders will take over now, 1st and 10. Geno now to throw. To the right side and intercepted. And he's going to return it to the 21-yard line. But here in the 4th quarter, defensively, you know that you're just going to blanket the field with defensive backs and say, okay, take your best shot. And that time, it's intercepted.
And we've often seen teams go into the prevent early, way too early, and sometimes they get too soft in their coverages, but not in this case. They understood the situation and played it with the proper aggression.
Out onto the field comes New Orleans. They have to like the position that they are in. 4th quarter, 2-score lead, and now the ball back after the INT. Throwing to start the drive. Mims, he'll find Moreau here. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch, and that will bring up 2nd down. Toss wide side. This is Kamara. And they'll lose yardage here. Knocked back to the 19-yard line. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down.
I have zero rooting interest in either team in this game. I only want a good game. But with all the offense we've seen from them tonight, it's kind of nice to see the defense step up and make a big play.
Yeah, I was wondering if they were ever going to get him in the backfield. Nice to see him get a stop. From the gun on third down, Mims. Oh, this will be incomplete. The rush gets home just as he was letting that go. That could have been worse. Instead, it's fourth down.
Putting pressure on the guy throwing the football is always good, but when you can couple that with contact on him that leads to an incompletion, as we just saw there, that's winning football.
And his kick is good. And that will extend their lead even further. So all things considered, that's not the final nail, but it does make things exceedingly difficult now on the other side.
Yeah, because obviously now with a 16-point game, the other guys don't need just 2 touchdowns. They need a couple of 2-point conversions as well. Plus, they'll need either a turnover or an onside kick in there somewhere. So you're just adding to the list of things that need to happen in sequence. And it's going to be a pretty tall order this late in the game.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. So out come the Raiders. So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best in the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you, and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
Fourth quarter, every drive's so critical, and you figure may only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the second touchdown. You've got the first one for the second one to even matter.
That's into the hands of his tight end, Bowers. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 16 more on that one and another first down.
All right, this is the time of the game where they're down a couple of scores, and they've really got to get some yards in chunks, and they know the defense doesn't want to give those up, but they've got to find a way to take them anyway.
Now the question is, can they string a few of those together? And it's incomplete. Boy, he doesn't drop many like that one. Second down.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away, but the bottom line is that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
Smith, an incomplete pass on first down. Now it's 2nd and 10. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. This ball tipped, and it's going to be incomplete. Fortunate maybe to get that back. It's 3rd down.
So much of this game is about leverage. We always talk about low man wins in the trenches. Well, it's like that in just about every position. And sometimes, if you lose that leverage and you're losing the battle, just jump up at the line of scrimmage and try and bat the ball away. And that's exactly what happened there.
Again, Smith. Flushed out right. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. The sack coming from defensive end Cameron Jordan.
Oh, you can just see it in their body language. They're starting to see victory on the horizon now, and if it comes to fruition, they got to give a game ball to the front 7. Defensive line has taken charge and controlled this game. Face a challenge of stopping this opposing offense, and they've done so with ease.
And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Raiders try it on 4th down, but to no avail. And the Saints will have the football back. So now with a little over 2 minutes to play, the road back gets very difficult.
Difficult, but still not impossible if they go ahead and play this thing out. Now the defense has to come up big. They've got to go for their strip of the football on each and every snap to try and give themselves a chance.
And a good pickup there. He gets about 6 up to midfield. 40 yards rushing for him now in the ball game. Two minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Saints football as we get you reset. This 2nd and 4. And no doubt what they're looking to do is just salt away the final couple of minutes and escape with a win. And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ball game. Now this is a big 3rd down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop them here. They run it again with Kamara. And he has the first down yardage before they bring him down right at the 45. A man who's been busy this afternoon. It's Kamara again. Now the Raiders going to burn their third and final timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. They'll run out of the gun with Kamara. After getting stuffed on first down, not much better there. 2-yard gain.
I like it. I like the call. Still an opportunity to run the football and chew up a little more time off the clock.
And they'll need to get to the 35 if they want to keep this drive going on third down. On the counter, here's Kamara. And he's going to come up a few yards short of the first. They get him to the ground at the 37. A good gain there on 3rd and 8 of 7 yards, and now a decision here on 4th and 1. This late in the game, Charles, I think you maybe seriously have to think about going for it.
Especially where they are in terms of field position, because this is almost like no man's land. Might hurt your punter because there might not be enough space, maybe too far for your field goal kicker. I'm like the old rule. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Possession is 9/10 of winning the game. Go for it. Get the first down. Close it out.
Here's 1st and 10. Here's Smith. Now throw right side here, going to be incomplete.
And let's face it, this defense has had its share of struggles all game long, and they know that they can put it all behind them if they defend well here in the 2-minute drill. Excellent coverage right there to force the incompletion.
Here comes 2nd down. Smith to throw. Oh, an excellent tackle there as they keep him inbounds and hold him to no gain. A higher scoring game, Charles, than we typically see in the National Football League, but fun to watch these offenses. They were really clicking. It seemed like everything that they dialed up worked.
Yeah, it certainly was fun to watch from our perspective. How'd you like to be those defensive coaches, though? That wasn't a blast for them at all. And let's face it, they all game plan, they all scout, they all think they're prepared, but executing and stopping teams, that's another matter entirely.
So that'll do it for my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. The Saints are winners here as we say so long from New Orleans.